Okay, so what's in the box, you may ask? Well, got delivery today from Amazon, and possibly a hint is what's sitting on the left-hand side of it. To give you somewhat of a hint, the Warthog joystick that I've had for a few years now. I think it's a few years. It's been a while anyways. So that has served me very well, but I spotted something the other night on YouTube stream. I didn't even know it was out. But that's what's in the box. So if we open the box up and take out what's in it, we have the Thrustmaster AVA base unit, which from what I can see is an update from the Warthog from a few streamers that I've watched. Hopefully it is an update. As I say, the Warthog has been brilliant over the last couple of years. Served me very well in helicopters when they came out in the sim. But I wanted to see if I could get more of a, how would you say, control over the helicopters. I have a collective, but I don't have a cyclic. I've been using the Warthog as the cyclic, and I wanted to see if this AVA, as they say on the stream, gives you more precise control over the whatever aircraft you're flying in flight sim, really. So I'm not going to go through a whole massive deboxing or whatever, or unboxing or whatever they call it. What I will do is I'll take everything out of the box and just put it on front and show you what comes. So inside the box we get the Ava base itself. Compared to the Thrustmaster one, it's possibly the same height or a bit higher. The length, of course, it's longer, and the width is about the same. And of course, it's instead of being circular, it is whatever you call this, rectangular. But yeah. So that's the base, and unlike the Thrustmaster original, which has everything hardwired into it, I'll show you there. It's all hardwired in. The Ava base uses a USB-C to plug in, which comes with this USB-C cable to plug into the computer. So then we have, of course, the masks that come with it. I think they call it the masks. We've got a medium mask and a small mask. And I think fitted in it, we've got an extra large mask. Those masks control the travel of the joystick, and is probably even more apparent when you have the extension on it. I think they've brought out an extension. The longer it is, the more it's going to travel, of course, and you can minimize that with these masks, which you just simply take out and fit in the masks. Comes with a set of soft springs and a set of medium springs and a set of hard springs, which are actually fitted in the base when it comes out of the box, giving you the feel, of course, of control, whether you wanted softer control or harder control on the joystick. And it also then comes with a set of what they call aero cams, which from what I can work out are used for more general aviation, general aircraft, commercial aircraft and helicopters, the aero ones cams. It's fitted with jet cams, which what they say is more towards the jet fighters and all that. And it also comes with 2 Allen keys so that you can open up and adjust all the springs and cams inside. So just before I actually replace the strong springs with the medium ones and the cams with the aero cams, we're going to leave the standard jet cams and strong springs in it. We're going to fit the wiper stick from the original. It just sits on like that. It was a bit iffy that I didn't want to break any of the little pins in it, so just for anybody faces, you have the arrow on it. So to put the stick on it, you just face it away from the arrow. Face the front of it away from the arrow and just sit it on and screw it on like that. And what we will do is we'll just try a quick flight in 2024 on a helicopter and see how does it feel. It'll be a bit awkward having it up here on the the desk, but it's normally I have it down on a stand down on the floor. But we'll try and see what does it feel like on the helicopter with the jet cams and the strong springs on it. So what I had to do is in the control panel, controls, setting controls, I had to go into the Warthog. It's not here. I had to take it off to stop it from being what would you call it? The two of them not working together. The base, the new base, the Ava. I keep saying AVA. The new Ava base and the Warthog base were not compatible with each other, of course. So what I actually done is I had to go into the Warthog base and go settings and I exported the general settings and the helicopter control settings, exported them out to a folder on the hard drive. Then I came into the Ava base here and I had to create a new one. Doesn't really matter, I called it Ava. And once I created a new general controls in the Ava and helicopter controls Ava as well, I was able to click on the settings icon and import the existing heli controls that I had for the Warthog. Hopefully that makes sense. So I brought all the controls back in so I didn't have to set up all the controls for the new Ava base. So once we've done that and saved that and go back, we now have all my controls that I had existing. I can move around and everything, all the hat switches and everything I had, all the control for the cyclic is all working, and because of course I don't have this screwed on to the metal base of the Warthog original, it's all over the place of course. The screws are the same, so there's 4 screws here on the base of this which will match up with the 4 screws of the original plate from the Warthog, and will also match up with the original screws on the floor base that I have made up as well, a wooden floor base. I know that there's a new extension coming out for this base which will mean that it'll extend the stick up higher and you'll be able to put it on the floor as well and use that, so I might get that later on. But at the moment I have a wooden base that's pretty much brings the stick up to where the cyclic one will be on the helicopter. But as I say, we're going to try it with the jet and the stronger springs in it just to see how it feels. We'll try, and I have to hold one hand on here to stop it from what it seems. So we're in the bell. Let's get it off the ground here. I'll zoom out a bit. Get it off the ground. And even with the jet cams, we're going backwards. Even with the jet cams and the stronger spring, I seem to have more. I know from what they're saying, it's trying to hover in the helicopter. It's ever so slight movement on the joystick. Not big massive movements, it's tiny little movements to keep things, and it's probably feels something like the original Warthog, or even a little less stronger. It comes back to the middle. Now from what I hear, some of the helicopter pilots saying that it shouldn't really come back to the middle. Maybe you could adjust that apparently wherever you leave the cyclic on the helicopter and take your hand off, that should be where the cyclic stays. I don't think on a real helicopter it's supposed to flop back to the middle like it does on the joystick here. But having said that, I'm not crashing to the ground here, and you can see it's ever so slight adjustments on the joystick. It's minute ones to get forward, minute ones to hover. You can hardly see my hand moving at all, and I must admit, even with the standard jet cams and the standard strong springs, the good thing with this of course now is that unlike the original Warthog, we can pop everything off, replace the cams, replace the springs to customize the joystick to exactly the way you want it to feel. But as you can see, you can hardly see my hand moving. And I know with the Warthog you would have to move it a lot more. With this one, I may just fly it with this default one for a while, not swap them out yet and see. And it's pretty, so I may just fly one flight somewhere with the default strong springs and the jet cams just to see. And even in this test one, it feels a lot more control, a lot easier to fly the helicopter. As I say, you can see my hand is hardly moving at all, and apparently that's from what I can pick up with real helicopter pilots, is like minute adjustments on the cyclic. You're not like massive adjustments like you do in a plane. Just come back, bring it back ever so slightly, and I think it's perfect here. Just off to the left a bit. It's just where the joystick is, or where the cyclic is up on the desk, is the most ideal position for it. But that is feeling really good, I think. Okay, hard landing. But that, compared to the original Warthog, that is like tiny movements. As I say, that's with the jet cams and the hard spring in there. So even the medium spring, we may pop it off and see just what the medium spring is like. Put the sim on hold for a second and pop off the, so to take the springs out and the cam seemed to be a simple thing. Oh, we just need to remove the stick again, screw that off and pop that up. So as to say, that is the original Viper stick from the Warthog, the original Warthog. Fits onto the new base, no problem at all. We may as well unplug this, maybe, might be an idea. And apparently all we have to do is loosen these 4 screws, these Allen screws with the Allen key. But this is the difference between this Ava base and the original Warthog, is the ability to add in, remove cams and springs to adjust the resistance on the stick, configure the stick to exactly the way you want it to feel. And what to say is just remove these 4 screws, pop off the top, there we go. So from the top you can see where you add in the extra surrounds that will give it even less of movement on the joystick. So you can have, this is the extra large one, you can have the medium one and the small one. So as you have the extension on it, it's going to go less movement. So that's just the top. And then in here, if I bring it over here a bit, probably not the most ideal, but we have the jet cam in there, you can see it. And we've got the spring on this side. That's the strong spring and the jet cam, and on the other side, the front, got the other jet cam and the other strong spring. So what they're saying is we can remove these springs if we loosen this. Oh, it's not that one. It needs to be all this. We can loosen that spring. If I get my hand out of the way, we'll loosen the spring here. Okay, I can loosen that, take that spring out, the strong spring, and put in this small medium spring like that. Tighten this back up again. Okay, my hand is in the way, but there's a lot better videos. This is, so we loosen that and we'll add that spring, that medium one, and we can loosen this cam, get this loosened without destroying the nut or the screw or whatever you call it, the Allen screw. We can loosen this out, not the best on. Okay, we take that screw out and we take this jet cam, and now as I take that jet cam, I realize I should have left this loose because I felt it pop up. So we can loosen this down again like that. So you need to take the jet cam off, okay, like that. There you go. You can see it dropping down. There you go. You can see that little thing dropping down. What we do then is we can, of course I do everything arseways, get this aero cam and put this aero cam on there. Tighten this screw back up into it. It's easy enough, it's not complicated. So tighten that back up and not over tighten it. That's one thing I learned, is never to over tighten these screws or you'll ring them. So we can bring that back up there, attach this spring back, tighten this Allen bolt back up. Make sure the spring is on there. So that's the cam, and we can tighten this up. And the good thing is when we put the top back on it, we can get access to these screws from outside, so we can actually tighten them even more to tighten the screw up. But that's the medium cam, or the aero cam on there. Make sure that's tight there. It is. And that's tight enough. What we can do, I should have plugged out this USB-C. The next one we're going to do, so that's the jet cam off and the strong spring there. Next one we need to do is the other jet cam inside here, inside in the middle, and we're going to replace that with the medium spring and the aero cam. Again, I need to first of all loosen the screw on the top here, which will loosen this spring. We'll just loosen it. We don't want to take that screw off. Let's see. So once you take the spring off, cam will fall, or the little shaft will fall down. We can now remove this. Very hard to see it there, but we can remove this jet cam from the middle. Probably a lot quicker to do this when you're not talking and trying to record it. Take that little one out. We're going to remove this cam. Okay, a little wiggle and it's out. That's the second jet cam out, and place the second. Get it in. Get it in. Okay, this is a bit more awkward to get in, but it will. I'll line it up straight there. There you go, it's in. And now that we have that in, we're just going to put the screw back into it and tighten up the screw, or Allen key, or Allen screw, Allen whatever you call it. So we tighten that one up. Again, not too tight, but, and we will put in the, and you'll have to lift up the little thing here, or whatever you call it, and we'll put in the spring. Get the spring back in. Oh, the joys of, yeah, this one's a little bit more niggly, but yeah, I could have loosened this a little bit more. I don't want to loosen it too much because I don't want it to come out. There we go. Spring is back on. Tighten it back up again. As I say, we can adjust these when we put the cover back on. You can see spring is back on there. And the two little cam is back in, tightened up. Okay, that's the jet cam in and the medium spring inside there. A bit niggly. And the jet cam here, not the jet cam, the medium cam and the spring. So medium, aero, cam, spring, aero, cam, spring, all tightened up. We just need to put the cover back on, tighten up the screws again. All exciting. The good thing is that you can customize this to whatever way you want the control to work for you, whatever feel you want the control to be. I was just thinking as I was tightening that up, is there only one way? Let me have a look. I tightened it. I didn't have to untighten them again. I was thinking, is there only one way to put this back on? I'm sure there is. Yeah, it's only going to go on one way. It's not going to go on the wrong. Is it? No, it's only going to go on one way, isn't it? Right. I may have to pause this and see, but I'm going to take it off again. I'm paranoid to see whether I put stuff on. I should have tested it to see, is there only one way? I'm sure they designed it for only, I'm sure the engineers designed this that it would only fit one way, but just in case, you take it off there again. Can it go on this way by mistake? No. Okay, so we've proven that there's only one way. An idiot like me can only put it on one way. Okay, as I thought. I'm sure the engineers would have built in the fact that an idiot like me try and put it on the wrong way. But no, there's only one way it can fit on. We screw that back on there. Try not to put the screws in and thread them the wrong way in. That's all we want to do is destroy the threads of the screws. But it looks like if someone can like me can put it on, anybody can. Okay, so that's tight, and all screws are all tight. Now, as I say, the good thing about this is that there's a hole here and a hole here, which means you can adjust those springs that we put in. You can actually tighten them up. If you want to tighten them up, the Allen key will go in there and you can tighten those up. You don't have to remove the whole case again to tighten the screws up. Now that we have that all back on, we should be able to just plug our USB-C cable back in and put our joystick back in. Again, I'm always wary about that because of the little tiny, I don't know whether you can see them there, anyone that has it, the little tiny, what would you call it on it? plugs or whatever. I don't want to put them in and destroy the stick. As I say, it faces forward with the arrow facing forward. Or again, like idiots like me. Plugged in and plug it back in here and see. Jump back into the sim. We crash the sim. We don't. Nope, we haven't crashed it. I wonder if we resume. Yes, we have the stick is still working. So you can do it on the fly, which is the good thing. You can actually adjust your cams and adjust your springs without actually turning the sim off. Put in your springs and your cams and everything, and we can try it again with the new setup. If I look down here, I can feel it's even, of course, it's even less. I need less pressure on the cyclic. Oh, that's even, yeah, less. You can see it just slightly adjusting, ever so slightly. There's no mad crazy joystick movements here in a helicopter, unlike some of the planes maybe that are the jet fighters. But then again, the jet fighter had the stronger springs and the stronger cams in it, so jet fighters have less. I suppose you want less travel on the stick. This is even barely moving the cyclic, barely moving the stick. Get it up here, the helicopter up, I mean, of course. Oh, that is absolutely, yeah. I am barely moving the cyclic. Collective is up and barely moving the cyclic here, and you can see it on the screen. It is ever so slightly moving. As I say, I've watched a couple of videos on real pilots flying helicopters. I think from what I can pick up is that it shouldn't really come back. The cyclic shouldn't really come back when you let your hand off it. It shouldn't really back. Could be wrong. I'm no helicopter or fixed wing pilot, but from what they're telling me, it shouldn't bounce back to the center. The cyclic should stay where you've left it. So that's what the medium springs and the medium and the aero, oh my god, it's gone out of my head. Aero cams and medium springs. So maybe the soft springs and the aero cams might be more in line with the helicopter maybe. So when you put the cyclic somewhere to stick, that should just stay there. But anybody that is got the old original Warthog, Thrustmaster Warthog, this is definitely, for me in helicopters anyways, this is definitely a massive upgrade to it. The Ava base, the new Ava base from Thrustmaster, I'll put a link in the description below, maybe up on the screen. It is absolutely, like, I am ever so slightly moving the stick, the cyclic, tiny movements, and it is absolutely flying brilliantly. I don't fly commercial airlines and I don't fly jet fighters all that much, so I'm not sure. I can't really advise you on whether it's any advantage. I'm sure it has. For helicopters, for me anyways, this is a massive upgrade from the Thrustmaster. And the good thing is, yes, it's, I suppose you wouldn't class it as cheap. I think I've seen them retailing for over $500 here in Australia, but as I say, I got a deal on it on Amazon, got a 200 off it or something like that. The good thing is, anybody that's got the original Warthog and has got the Viper stick, you save yourself at least 200 trying to buy a new stick for it. You can buy a new one later on, okay, but you can just need to buy the base. And yeah, it's for me, it's a definite upgrade. The feel of it, I'm just wondering whether the soft spring will actually give you a bit more of a helicopter feel. Again, I'm not a real helicopter pilot, so I've never been in a helicopter, so I couldn't tell you what exactly the cyclic should be feeling like. All I can tell you is that this gives me more control over it, and from what I see, real pilots are saying like the cyclic is minute adjustments. Nothing crazy. Okay, we're gonna hit it a bit tough, but they're saying it's minute adjustments on the cyclic, on the stick. You're talking millimeters. You're not talking massive. You're not pulling it all over the place like this. And even this sitting here is just enough to control. Even that little bit and back and forward is enough to control the helicopter, the cyclic. So hopefully this has, as always, I do these videos just to help out people that are looking. I looked online and I could see reviews of this over the last year, but I couldn't actually see a review when it came to helicopter in the sim. I didn't see, unless I've missed, I haven't seen anybody do a review of how it feels for the cyclic, but for me, again, as you see, ever so slightly just is enough to adjust the cyclic. For me, if you fly helicopters, which I do in the sim, mine is, you'll have seen from my videos, it's all helicopters now. It's not fixed wing, very rarely fixed wing. Never jets, never airliners. I haven't sat in an airliner to fly it in ages. For helicopters, I absolutely think that the Ava Thrustmaster base is a brilliant upgrade to your original Warthog base. And again, you can adjust with the Warthog, you could take off, but you can't really adjust anything on the Warthog. Whereas with this new Ava, you get to adjust all the cams and the springs. And yeah, I just think that this is an absolutely brilliant upgrade. I looked at the motion ones, but they're, compared to the price of this, you're talking 3 times the price of this. Yes, people will probably say, oh yeah, the motion ones are way better, but for anybody that wants to go from the original Warthog to this one, there's not a massive price difference. It's actually, the base is cheaper than I paid for the Warthog and stick. But yeah, I think well worth. And as I say, you can mess about with the springs and the cams and everything, and you can get it to exactly the way you want it. And I know also, I'll put a link in the description below, I know also from another simmer that they're bringing out an extension for this as well, so that you can put the extension on, raise the stick up higher, and it looks like it is an actual, it looks like the cyclic on the screen there. The stick is curved and that, so you can put the stick higher up, put the base on the ground, and you can have a real cyclic feeling for the helicopters. The question is the new Thrustmaster Ava a upgrade to the original Warthog or not for Flight Sim 2024? Probably in relation to helicopters, I would have to say, yeah, it is an upgrade, absolutely. I'm finding on the Ava it's a lot less movement of the stick to adjust the helicopter and move the cyclic in the helicopter. But for me, it's a definite yes, thumbs up on this upgrade. And even better, you can use the original Viper joystick or stick from the original Thrustmaster Warthog in the new Ava. So I absolutely think anybody that's interested in helicopters and isn't ready to go full feedback joystick and the price, this is a definite upgrade at the moment from the Warthog up to the Ava, and you're not going to be disappointed with the control you have over the helicopter and the upgrade. So hopefully that has helped a few out there if they're trying to make a decision whether to go from the Warthog original to the Ava, the new Ava Thrustmaster. As always, if you have any questions or you want me to try out anything to see before you make a purchase, just drop me a comment and I will try it out and get back to you and let you know. But for now, let's go flying helicopters and we will chat to you later. Bye.